Good morning, children. I hope you all are doing great. So children, today I am going to start chapter number 11, the human digestive system. Okay, so here you can see there are so many organs, accessory organs and internal organs, main internal organs, which helps in the completion of this human digestive system. Okay, now in this system, you know, through this process of human digestion, I have already explained you these processes in the Zoom class, that why it is important, because this system is important because through this system only our body absorbs the essential nutrients. Okay, so the food we are eating, we are getting energy and the essential nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals through this digestive system only. Okay, through the digestion process. And what happens in this digestion process, our the complex food that we are eating, converted into with the help of different enzymes, they act on our food or these complex nutrients, and they break down it into a simpler form. Okay, so there is the steps. So there we have our digestion starts in the mouth. So you can see the few steps are given, all the steps are given in short here. Breakdown of food in mouth. So our digestion process starts in the mouth, and our mouth, there is a saliva. In the saliva, inside the saliva, there is a salivary amylase enzyme. Okay, which convert starch into the glucose. Starch is a complex carbohydrate. Our body is not able to absorb the starch, so that this enzyme, salivary enzyme, inside the saliva only or mouth cavity only, it turns this starch into the glucose form. Okay, then through the food pipe, esophagus, this digested food pass into the esophagus, and then it goes into the stomach. So third, you can see in our stomach there are so many digestive enzyme, and few digestive enzyme our body get from the liver, from the pancreas. Okay, so that these digestive pancreatic juice, bile juices and all, they act upon the food. HCl is also present in our stomach. So all these and different enzymes, lipases and all, so all these helps in the digestion. Okay, so in the stomach also, even in the that small intestine also, this digestion process get completed. So this complete digestion, remember always complete digestion and the absorption, because you know small intestine, they have the villi. Okay, hair like projections, they have the finger like projection, they have the villi which absorbs the essential nutrients. So it is small intestine. I told you that digestion starts in the mouth, but the complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. Okay, children. Now, then assimilation of absorbed food. Okay, our food get assimilate or absorbed through the villi. Then the waste material is segregated by the large intestine. Okay, so absorption of extra water and waste is collected by the large intestine, and through the anus they removed it from our system. So here in this diagram you can see there are so many organs. So mouth is there, salivary glands are present. I will explain you now. I will show you the picture. Esophagus is there, which is food pipe. Stomach is there, pancreas is there, small and large intestine is there, liver is there, gallbladder is there. So this liver produce the bile juices. Bile juices are basically, you remember that these are the dead bodies of the RBC. RBC have the lifespan 120 days. So after that RBC, what happened, it died. Okay, so it converted into their bodies, dead bodies converted into bile juices. Okay, which also plays a very important role. That is not waste material, which also helps in the what we say, digestion process. Now liver is also, you can say, it is a graveyard of that RBC. Now children, this gallbladder, this bile juice, what is the use of this gallbladder? So the bile juice that is produced by the liver, okay, utilized by the our organs, small intestine and stomach, okay, for digestion, and then they store, afterwards they store this bile juice into the gallbladder. So gallbladder stored the bile juice, whereas liver produce the bile juice. Here you can see the small and large intestine also. So you should know it is a. Now what is the need? As I said, what is the need for digestive system? So the food we are I told you the food we are eating, it is a very complex form, okay. It is not easily soluble or absorbable into our blood, okay. That's why, because blood is the only transport system, okay, through which only all the nutrients transfer from one part, from our head to toe, from any region, okay. So it should be break down, so it is very important, it should be break down by different enzymes, okay, and it will become, then after in the simpler form our blood can easily absorb them and transport them throughout the body. Now have a look in the definition. What is digestion? Digestion is the breakdown of naturally occurring food step into diffusible form, okay, so that it can convert into simpler form and it can absorb, or it can easily diffuse into our blood, so that we will get, our body will get all the essential nutrients. Now another definition they have given, you can learn any one, okay. So second one is, digestion is any change which make the food soluble and of such chemical nature they can be easily absorbed through living membrane. So obviously they become soluble, simple, so that each living organism, plasma membrane or blood membrane, they can diffuse easily. So any one you can learn. Now I told you enzymes are there, lipases are there, salivary amylase are there, they are very important in the digestion process. So here in this slide 7 properties are given of enzyme, okay, or you can say characteristics of enzyme. So remember that these enzymes are also a proteins. It is a protein, and with high heat or heating effect they can be break down, they can okay, and if they will break down, what will happen, they will not able to perform the digestion process. So they are the protein, it is a protein, all the enzymes are protein, and they can be easily destroyed by the heating. Now children, second properties are that, second property is that it acts only on one kind of substance. I told you in the Zoom class also, they are specific, okay. So like every lock has a key, specific key, it can open with that specific key. Like this, every enzyme has a specific substrate, okay. For example, now only I said the salivary amylase is an enzyme which is present in our saliva. It acts on that starch only, okay. It can act on, or it can that attacked on or it can convert the starch into glucose only, okay. It will not act on protein, it will not act on protein, and it will not convert protein into amino acid or fat into fatty acids and glycerol, okay. It will act only, salivary amylase is specific for the starch only, starch is a substrate, okay, and it converts starch into glucose, which is a simpler form of carbohydrate. So specific enzyme is there, specificity is there. It always forms the same end product from the substrate. Means, for example, salivary amylase always convert starch into glucose, okay. Product will be the glucose, it will not make any other product. Fourth point is, it also affect the rate of a chemical reaction and also speed ups. So you know, in a chemistry, you know, we have the certain certain we have that reactors or few enzymes are there, they speed up the, or we call them catalyst, okay. So these catalysts, what they do, they just increase the speed of the reaction, okay. So remember, it affects, it can slow down, these catalysts can slow down the reaction, and it can increase the rate of reaction. Fifth point is like a catalyst, it can be used again and again. Catalyst, what is the as we know in the chemistry, so many reactions we have learned, like iron is there, molybdenum is there, they act as a catalyst. Their role is to increase the rate of reaction. Okay, they are not involving in the rate of reaction, they are only increasing or decreasing the rate of reaction. The same thing, they can be used again and again. Okay, their role is to increase the rate of reaction either or decrease. Now it acts best only at a particular pH, so they need a particular pH. For example, based on the acidity and alkalinity, okay, they need a particular pH. Then the last point is it acts best within a narrow temperature range. So temperature should always be optimum temperature. Okay, otherwise what will happen, their rate of reaction or they are acting upon that substrate will affect. Okay, so they need a proper pH, particular pH, remember, and temperature also. Temperature range will be in between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, and above which they will not able to work. So these are the characteristic properties of the enzymes, that they are proteins, they will surely destroyed by heating, they are specific towards the substrate, all the enzymes, and the end product will be remain the same. It affects the rate of reaction, and catalyst, they needed a catalyst so that it can increase the rate of reaction or speed of the reaction also. They need a proper particular pH, they will work on a proper particular pH, and they need a optimum temperature for working, efficient working. Okay, so these 7 are the properties of an enzyme. Now the digestive system. So in the lower classes I have explained you alimentary canal. You all know alimentary canal starts from our mouth till the anus. Okay, so we have the alimentary canal. It is a muscular tube which starts from mouth and into the anus. So it is given in the class 6 also. So this tube is 9 meter long and it is very highly coiled. Okay, like in the case of small intestine, you know, it is highly coiled, large intestine also. So, and each organ, for example, if it is a food pipe, its structure and function is different. Okay, and the stomach, its structure and function is different, but all are connected with each other. They are helping in the digestion process, and their function and structure is different. So in addition to the digestive enzyme, glands are located. So these digestive glands, okay, so digestion system consists of 2 parts. Alimentary canal plays a very important role, which start from mouth to anus, and this is digestive gland. So all the pancreas, all the not all the pancreas, we have the one pancreas only. So pancreas, liver, all these salivary glands, all these are the glands which helps in the secretion of, they secrete the digestive enzymes, digestive juices, and they also help. So they are the accessory glands, but they are very helpful in the digestion process. Without these digestive glands, digestion process will not take place. Now children, these glands are located in different region. Okay, like pancreas present below the stomach. Okay, two digestive glands are there, liver and pancreas, they are associated with it, and the 3 salivary glands are there. Okay, which is below our tongue, okay, near our ear area, it is present. These are present. First one is mouth. So mouth, you know, mouth, we have the cavity, we have the teeth, we have the tongue. Okay, so all together, teeth, tongue, and this our muscle cavities of the mouth, they basically helps in the chewing of, grinding. We all know the functions of the teeth. They helps in the cutting, biting, and chewing and grinding. Okay, and basically they mixes our food. So this oral cavity or the mouth cavity is a space where our food is chewed and mixed with saliva. So here you can see. Okay, so this is our mouth cavity. Here you can see this is our mouth cavity. So we have the 3 glands, sublingual glands below our tongue, parotid gland, okay, near our brainy part here, back of the brain, then submandibular gland, okay, near our ear. So these 3 glands, Basically, what is the function of these three glands? These three glands together form a salivary gland. Okay, and salivary glands secrete the saliva. So in a easy language, you can say that all the three glands, parotid, submandibular, and sublingual, they secrete the saliva. Okay, and saliva contains the esophagus. So this is a three glands. Okay, then we have the esophagus. Then we have the stomach. This is the pancreas, you can see. This is the liver. Here is the small intestine, large intestine. You should know that sequence. Okay, then we have this ileum, jejunum, and duodenum. These three are the parts of the small intestine, children. Okay, and this cecum, ascending colon, descending transverse colon, and this rectum, this is the part of the large intestine. Okay, so all together each part is very essential and very important for the completion of the process, completion of this process. So this is a gallbladder, you can see near the liver. Now, so our tongue, as you know, in the mouth cavity, tongue is there, which helps in the speaking also. We have the taste receptor, which also having the sensation, so that we can taste, okay, and we can touch, we can feel the heat, like this. Our muscle is made up of, our tongue is made up of muscles only, which helps in the chewing also. It allows only mixing of saliva with the food. It helps in tasting, it cleaning our food particles from the teeth. Sometimes we can clean, okay, whenever we clean, the saliva helps in the cleaning the food particles also, and it helps in the speaking also. Okay, so children, today I am just going to, I have explained you this, that our digestive system is divided into two categories, or made up of two parts, alimentary canal and digestive glands. So please go through this. Okay, in the next video I will explain you about the teeth. There are four types of teeth, as we know: incisor, canine, molar, and premolar. As you can see here, so with all these we can cut, bite, chew, and grind our food particles. So thank you and have a nice day. God bless you all.